All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good to have you here at Paul Training. Going to literally dive in to creating underwater scenes. Hopefully this mic isn't too hot. Let's turn that down a touch. And welcome everyone. Just waiting for everybody to kind of file in. Thank you for joining me on Instagram, on Facebook and Periscope and all that good stuff. Fantastic. All right, let's get this party started. Again, thanks so much for joining me. Just want to know where you're from and all the good things about you. What's your favorite color? Mine is blue, which is about 40% of the population's favorite color, broadcasting from Denver, Colorado as well. So that's what I have going on. I would love to hear from you. I see Ike Chukwu here. Hello, good to have you here. And yeah, I want to kind of talk about a little bit about the setup here as well. Ben Johnson, hello. Cool, let's get this party started. Okay, underwater scenes is what it says on the screen, but let me switch gears and kind of talk about this, kind of what's going on, okay? And really it's just a fun theme to play with, so I encourage you to have some fun with this theme. Basically, there's this glowing gone campaign, if you will, and it's all about like these three colors that you see right here. Okay, it's all about sort of this is the coral's last hurrah to protect itself from global warming and other things that are about to kill it. So I will post this link, but this is just a blog post that we had. And there's a whole documentary about it called Chasing Coral. And then we have a contest around it as well. So let me share that with you if I could. So you know what's going on. There we go. All right. Ike Chukwu is from Nigeria. Your favorite color is brown. Fantastic. Again, not too often do you hear someone's favorite color being brown. So it's good. You're doing your thing. All right, so I'm going to dive into this literally. This is the campaign. All you need to do is create an image and use some of these assets, because basically in the last 30 years we've lost 50% of the world's live coral reefs, right? And before they die, some of them glow these colors, right? So these are the three main colors. So we're making coral's final glowing complete, impossible to ignore. So it's all about creating social media awareness. That's what I'm doing right now. And I get to play with fun images. So Daniel, thank you so much for joining me as well. Afroja, good to have you here as well. So that's all you need to do. You can download the brief. Once you download the brief, it's just a PDF. And again, I could actually post this as well, just so you know. Maybe I will. We give you this Creative Cloud library. And scrolling down, these are the colors I'm going to use. Pantone has generated these colors. Using imagery, they also gave me and you a whole library to use as well. So Adobe Creative Cloud library. Let's open that up right in here. Here's my CC library that I'm working with. Check it out. These are all the assets that I will be using, right? We can see right in here as well, I've already kind of started some work, right? So this is the asset that I made. I want to show you how to make something like this. Alexander, good to have you here as well. And then also do some fun colorizing, because that's what I had to do for the contest. I had to kind of change the colors and do some fun things to make it work, okay? But this is what you get, is you get this CC library that has all these assets in here. So that's what I would do. I'd start out in here. Maybe I want to use some of this text. Again, I'm following along with this brief. I downloaded those asset packs, got the colors. I'm going to show you how to use these gradients as well. We have images, we have the logo, and the glowing gone. These are the hashtags right in here that I'm going to use. Okay, so now you have it. I'm going to paste that right up there. Cool. So Cool. Fantastic. All right, let's get this party started. I'm going to create some artwork using these colors right in here. And again, I have these assets right in here. That's all I have to do is grab any one of these, drop it in like I'm doing right now. And this is the library that I have access to. These colors were actually made. Maybe want to split that up like that. Maybe you want to fill it. Let's get fancy right in here. Let's rotate this around. Let's do a clipping mask, huh? Why not? Clipping mask. And now we have that text inside of that image inside of that text, which looks pretty good. Right, cool. So this could be an entry, right? What would I do? I can publish this out. In fact, right over here, I have this little share button. I can post to Twitter. See, check that out. Boom. Twitter, glowing, glowing, gone, tagging, glowing, gone. A quick entry. But I don't know if I'm actually ready to share this one just yet. Maybe I do. Okay, this is at a good place, but is it too simple? So let's hit cancel. Right over here, I'm going to grab maybe some imagery that they have right over here. Down here at the bottom, we can see that there are some coral reef images. So let's see what I can use. Let's grab this one. Edgar, thank you so much. So again, we've lost 50% of the world's live coral reefs. Adding some fish, because otherwise it's just kind of boring, to be honest with you. There we go. Let's throw some fish in there, like that. Add a layer mask, hit B for brush, and just kind of fade out part of it. And now we have a hint of those fish right in there. Maimon, welcome. Ooh, this is a great one too. Look at that. Do the same thing. Adding a layer mask, hitting B for brush, and then just showing. Moving that to the bottom. The coral reefs. There we go. Perfect. This is more along the lines of what I want. Added images that they gave me. Posting to social media. It actually saves my Twitter handle and all that, my entry that I have right there. And let's just go ahead and click post. Hamza in the house. Do I use the new Adobe Color? I don't know. Is there a new one? I guess everything's new is relative. Glowing. That's number 5. But yeah, I do use Adobe Color, and that's a good call. Okay, so there it is, already posted to social media. This actually will fly for what we're trying to do, but we want to take that to the next level. They do mention Illustrator, by the way. Illustrator, I don't know if you're aware of this, and again, this does mention Photoshop. I can pick any one of the colors that they mention, right? And again, it's in this libraries panel. I can access these colors and use any one of them. Okay, but what if I want to take it to the next level and use a gradient tool? So for the fill, I can have a gradient, sure. But what I want to do is I want to have a freeform gradient. So right up here, selecting freeform gradient like that. It gives me these little color stops. So clicking right in there, I can have this one be purple, right? This one be the specific yellow given to me by the campaign. This one over here, blue, and then we'll go purple right here as well. Just like that. Okay, now I have control over how this looks, and it seems to work pretty well, right? Pretty cool having this capability. I think this looks awesome. Taking that, I can copy it, bring it into Photoshop, pasting it in as a smart object in case I want to change it later, like that. And now that's the color in there. Andrew in the house. What's up, Andrew? Like that. With a gradient that I made. So I don't necessarily have to use these assets. I can make my own because they give you gradients. All these gradients were basically made using the freeform gradient tool. Okay, let's take this to the next level. Okay, looks pretty good. What I've actually done is I've actually painted some things myself. Cool. Maimon, you appreciate how we're able to share so quickly. So this is my first version, right? I'm going to save that. I'm going to make another version. This is going to be version 6. And just to show you what I did, let's get rid of a lot of that, is in my library panel, I actually painted, Andrew, you might like to know this. Shashid from Pakistan, good to have you here. But I painted some of this on, you can see it right here. I painted some of this on my iPad using an app that's coming out. It's called Project Gemini. Okay, so we could see that asset that I painted. We could see this one. Here's another one that I have painted. Right, here's some other coral. Here's pink coral. Here's just some pink seaweed. Right, so I can take all these various paintings that I did. Wait for it. Here they are. Boop. And I can use them as part of my design. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And by the way, I have this fantastic turtle. So I posted this the other day, yesterday to be specific, on Instagram, just so you know. And yeah, you can kind of see how it looks right in here. Here's all these various layers, these pixel layers. I was painting layer upon layer to make this particular design. Right? There it is, right? So this is what's coming with Project Gemini. I'm going to turn off a lot of these layers. We could see the colors. We could see the initial sketches down here as well. So here's like the initial sketches, right? Sketch, sketch. Let's add some more. Let's add some more. It's all about layering and spending time, more and more time, more and more time. You know, adding some highlights, of course, adding color in there as well. All done with what is called Project Gemini. Gert, thank you so much. It's looking good for you. Fantastic. Right, I can take it all the stuff. I can make it a smart object. I can hit tile. And I can just drag that right over here. So that's what I'll start doing. Start taking all these elements. In fact, what I want to do this. I want to get rid of a lot of these because you've seen them. Let's get to compositing quickly. Again, super easy to make. Project Gemini, super fun. Here's my turtle. Zoop. Let's drop in my turtle. We could play with some of the blend modes too, just for fun, like that. And then I can start to add some other things as well. Green coral, yeah. Sea sponge, yes. You get the idea. Pink seaweed. Let's drop in some seaweed. Let's put the seaweed behind everything else. Let's drop in some pink coral. Might be a little bit closer to the front. Scale that down. It's all about compositing, dropping in what I need. I feel like 1, 2, 3, 4. I should have 5. Oh, this one. Here we go. We have just this regular coral. And again, I could use shortcut keys. Command open bracket will bring this coral up to the front or move it back. So I kind of want it to be there, and I can start to work on this design. Scaling down. Marco, thank you so much for the compliment. Nicolay, thank you so much. I spent a lot of time on that turtle, so I really appreciate you noticing that I spent a lot of time on it. You know, it's like no joke. Stuff takes time, right? So thank you for noticing. Let's throw a fun gradient in there. There we are. We're well on our way. Where's our turtle? Bring it back. Bring it up. Bring it up. Like that. And I can start working on this. A quick way to select elements, by the way, coming in here. If I want to select that background element, I can hold down the Command key. The Command key turns on the automatic sort of selection option. So again, with my selection tool, I'll hold down the Command key. It turns that on, right? So that's what I'll typically use. Turn that on. Now I can click and locate that green coral. Click right there, holding down the Command key. Click right here. You get the idea. I can scale these things up and down since they're smart objects. Everything's going to be okay. Let's duplicate that. Let's bring it over here. Hopefully this is making sense. Let's make these corals a lot taller, right? So since we're doing compositing, we want to start playing with the depth of things. Okay, we want this turtle kind of to be turtle. To be behind the coral, for instance, kind of cutting through like that. Might be in front of that, like that. That's what we're going for. You can see that turtle kind of cut through, like so. Dardan, hopefully, yeah, thank you so much. Glad you like it. A lot of times when you start compositing, you're going to notice that you're going to need to sort of adjust the colors of things. I actually need to get it more of a better background, so I'm going to search on ocean. I should have something in here. Maybe we will call it sea. Oh yeah, let's check this out. Oh, that's a fancy image. Look at this one. Oh, gorgeous. This is what I want. Look at that. Looks so good. This is something I got off Adobe Stock, by the way. I can kind of put that in the background if I want to. I'm looking for some other images. Oh, I have this one too. I got this from Adobe Stock as well. So part of this contest, by the way, and it's not really a contest, it's just a challenge. This glowing gone, just bringing awareness to the fact that our coral reefs are dying and it's all our fault. Like global warming, whether you want it to or not, this is what the ocean looks like. Half of the ocean looks like this, the other half looks like this. So that might be a good metaphor. Can I play with these colors in that sense, right? Sort of going with black and white, going with color. So yeah, that's all I kind of wanted to point out. They've given me a bunch of images, but I'm of course using my own Adobe Stock images that I've actually purchased prior, right? Scaling that up, wait for it. Hopefully showing you some tricks of the trade. If I can, holding down the Shift key, stretching that up. Something like that. And again, this still needs a lot of work. I get it. Let me know if you have questions. Yeah. Ken, this Marco asks about bashing. Could this compositing be called bashing or compositing or photo manipulation? Right now it's more compositing. I've never heard the term bashing, but that's kind of an interesting phrase, bashing, right? But that's kind of what I'm doing. It's like I kind of like the bottom part of this particular photo. I'll hold down the Shift key, just kind of stretch that out. But I like this part up here, so I actually might bash these together, if you will, right? Holding on the Shift key, stretching that out. Take these two, turning that off. Okay, see if this works. I am bashing a lot of photos together. Hit B. Let's get rid of, which one is this? Turn off those. Let's get rid of that part. Okay, so basically I'm splitting this photo up into two different pieces. Here's my two different pieces, and then I'm using this to kind of fill it in the background. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I wanted to kind of separate some of this out because I feel like the rocks were too close to the surface of the water. All right, turtle, get your turtle on, bring that up. Bring these down. And now I want to start playing with some of this color as well. I need to do a lot of that. In fact, what I want to do is I want to grab all of this content right here. We're going to do a Command G for group, and we're going to call this foreground. And just like that. Duplicating this, right? And this will be the midground, something like that. Kind of moving that back, turning that off. These are all duplicated. Get rid of that turtle. Selecting all this stuff. It's going to be my mid-ground content. I'm going to shrink it down and put it over there. Okay. Still with my selection tool selected, as we say. Bring that up. You can just kind of, I guess, kind of watch me work as I start to take a look at this. Scaling this down some as well. Okay, so what I could do here, Dardan, by the way, is I can take this, I can change the layer blend modes to something like darken, or one of these darker ones. There's also some overlays, some lightened versions that might also work, but I want to kind of push those back. And that's why I'm just going to select darken. So we have our foreground, we have our midground right there. Those are the ones that I just added. And again, it's going to be a matter of just kind of playing with what I think will work for this. Okay. Maybe a blend mode won't do it. Maybe a blend mode won't do it at all. Okay. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. There we go. That did it. What just happened there, Dardan and Anel? Good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me. So this is what I did to make these colors. See that I wanted to push them back and make them a tint of the water. So what I did is I took that water, turned it into a clipping mask. So from there to there, boom, made it a clipping mask. And now it's kind of more part of the background. Okay. And again, I still have that one there that I may or may not need. Let's try some more things with that. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy to help. Again, notice how we have that nice depth. So the turtle's kind of weaving through all of this space right in here. I'm going to do a shift the hue of that slightly to more blue. There we go. Just like that. Cool. Fantastic. There's our turtle, right? Here's our background, and I can start to work on giving this a splash of color. So wait for it. I did not hear any music. There we go. Let's bring back that music. Okay, let me show you some more pro tips. Oh, am I just not scrolling? Oh, sorry about that. Afroja, you like it? So far, so good. I'm going to show you some other pro tips really fast. Right, I want to bring that land down a little bit. This is currently my scene, which is not bad. Look at how vibrant this is. I still have that same issue. Maybe I want to take that same layer of this blue and add it to the foreground, right? Clipping mask on that foreground, right? Taking that over. Looks like it got shifted off to the side, which means this one got shifted. But from right here, we can start to play with some of these colors, and maybe it will work, maybe it won't. Notice how electric it is on those different the different foreground elements. Ooh, I like overlay though. This is nice. Okay, that's looking pretty good. In fact, you know what? I would say I want this to happen to everything but the turtle. So let's add a layer mask, hit B for brush, and let's bring back some of that guy's color like that. Zoop. There we are. He's glorious. Our cool turtle. Okay. Still, it's a little vibrant. I could hit hue, take that saturation down, just like that, and there's that. Let me show you a couple other tips. This is awesome, Alexander. So hopefully you like this. I know parts that I need to amp up, like the turtle color needs to be more intense, I think. All right, so just added that in a little bit. And again, what's great is I could just play with this all day long and get rid of that, that splash there. Just love it. Okay, so here's a situation where I have this bottom part is looking a little more like an illustration because, again, I illustrated all these in Project Gemini. Here we're dealing with a photo right up here at the top. What sometimes helps is to apply a whole look to the whole thing. So that's what I'm going to do now. In fact, I'm going to select all. I'm going to do an edit, copy merged. I'm going to go to File, New, pasting this in. So here's my original. And then I don't know if you do this, but basically I'm going to, Alexander, did you do this? HDR toning. I want to add some HDR toning to it. Look what this HDR toning does. It could really be kind of crazy. I personally deal with these presets. Might be a good place to start. I'm going to go down to Scott 5. Selecting Scott 5, and you can see how intense it's made everything. Almost too intense, but that's okay. I can fix it. It's not going to be a problem. Let's go ahead and try saturated. We'll try a couple different ones. Scott 5. I'm going to use Scott 5. You ready for this? I'm going to use Scott 5. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to bring it back into my original on the top layer, right? And now I'm just going to adjust the opacity. I'm going to take that opacity down. Or better yet, I'm going to add a layer mask and then hit B for brush. Maybe just get rid of it down here, but it's more electric and more detailed up there. So that actually makes it match more. Look what I did to the top there. See how it just made it look kind of like more electric, like the bottom part? That's the goal there. So again, this is kind of where I'm headed with this. I can add more or less detail right in here. See, as I'm painting, so it's like painting with light. See what's happening? Isn't that cool? Fantastic. Here's our lovely, lovely illustration. And let's keep in mind, we are going to be dealing with this Glowing, Glowing, Gone campaign. Only talks about working with really just a couple different colors. In fact, 3 to be exact. Here are the assets. Right in here. So I'm going to save this. And I want to kind of point out a couple things. I can add some color overlays right in here. So I can add this color, which is going to be this purple. There's a foreground color like that. Okay, there's also this yellow that I can add, right? So I have these 2 colors. I can create a gradient with these 2 colors, right? Foreground to background, or even a gradient with all 3 colors. So here's my gradient. Right? So I could potentially use this, maybe play with some of these blend modes. But what I want to do, rather than doing anything like this, is I want to create a gradient map. So right over here, Down at the bottom, gradient map. Hopefully you can see that. Gradient map. So gradient map will take any gradient and obviously like make it black and white in this case, because it's taking all the black, all the dark colors it's making the black. Taking all the light colors and making them white, and everything in between it's going to map to the grays. Okay, so that's already pretty cool. I don't know what. Oh, I don't know. White. I accidentally deleted the name. There it is. Here's the black and white version. Let's go ahead and duplicate that. Because guess what? I'm going to add a different gradient map. Rather than that one, we'll add this one right here. So now this is in line with the colors from this particular campaign. Okay. It maps all of the light colors to the yellows, midtones to purples. Okay. And all the dark colors to the blue, like that. Cool, so that's a gradient map. Hopefully that makes sense. Nicolay, just so you know, my brush settings aren't anything spectacular. As I go right in here, I'm just using this soft round is all I'm using, right? And what I'll do is I'll control the size and the hardness using my bracket keys. I need to select it first. Boop, boop. So that's all I do is control with my bracket keys, and then I control the hardness key by shift, and then the bracket keys. That changes the hardness. Okay, so we have these two things. We also have all these various logos that we could deal with. I could take those, drop one of these in, right, like that. Glowing, glowing, gone. I can play with some of the depth in here as well, which might be kind of fun. Right, let's just show you my brush really fast. Adding that layer mask and adjusting the size, making the radius a hard radius. And then I'm going to paint with black on this type layer. Painting with black, if I switch to black, will actually like remove. So I can take out, have that kind of like doing this cool like overlap effect. Like that. Something like that. That's kind of cool, yeah? Is it cool or is it not cool? Right? Like that. There's our little turtle kind of poking through like that. Cool? Glowing, glowing, gone. There we have it. And again, I can have some fun options. I could do some fun things with this as well. I can combine two gradient maps. I'm just going to fill that. I have that background. There we have gray. A number of things I can work with here now that I have those colors. Thank you, Rocky. Rocky's in the house. Good to see you, man. So yeah, I haven't decided, Rocky, if these colors are even working, by the way. You know, but they are the colors of the campaign. I think something like this is very nice. Okay. But, you know, how could I add a splash of that? You ready for this? Last thing before I actually do need to get going. I've been going for about 30 minutes, a little bit longer than usual. But I'm going to use some of these colors right in here. Let's use that yellow. B for brush. It's always hard to impress Rocky because he's so good at what he does. Rocky is one of those people that I have to talk to, be like, hey, man, what do you think of this? He's like, yeah, it's pretty good. You need to work on this lighting, though. So I really appreciate you, Rocky, telling me how much I'm horrible at things. Just joking. So like that. Ooh, even that nice overlay looks good. Look, I just need to give it a little pop of color. Okay, let me even take that down a little bit, right? Just to like highlight, right? That's what I want. Just like let it come to life. Maybe even these parts, right? Z, brush, little highlights right in here as that kind of comes down. Maybe I add more to it down here. I don't know. Something like that. You get the idea. All right, everyone, I am slowing down. Hopefully you like this. This is kind of where it's ending up. I'm just painting with this secondary color. I can adjust the flow. Maybe I want to take that flow down a lot and just kind of make it more of a gradient so those lines aren't so hard. You get the idea. Cool. Alexander, you love it? Ah, man, that means a lot coming from you. I really appreciate it. But yeah, that's what I have. I have this version, just so you know, sort of another version I made earlier. I will open up this JPEG. Why not? Another cool trick. So this is what they do in films, by the way, to make things look cool, is they will add, I actually have like a color splash. So let me grab, wait for it. I have so many different versions of this. This is the final PSD that I was working with. But I added this cool layer that happens to be this stuff. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to drop it right in here. Boop. This is what I just added, is this burst. Let's change this off from soft light. This is what it looks like. It's this like splash of water. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. But it kind of goes over everything, just like as if there's water in your eyes or something. But I really liked this effect, kind of dropping that in there, changing that to soft light. And I don't know, it kind of works. I don't know. Hopefully it does. I don't know. I will work on this some more, but I just appreciate you hanging out with me today. Again, I got a lot more I need to work on. So just thanks for bearing with me. Let's bring up the final ones. 2 different versions. I hope you like them. I think they were fun to work on. Just to bring awareness to what's happening. When these corals turn this purple, blue, or yellow, it means that they're actually dying. So even though they look beautiful, they're actually dying, which is a horrible idea. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and add probably a little bit more yellow right in here. And then I think that one will be done. But feel free to follow me on Instagram and everything. That's where I'm going to post this. You'll see the final version and all that, and I'll post some of my sketches as well. So hopefully that works for you. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Just yeah, get involved. You can see that pinned tweet, and I'll post it to again, Twitter as well, and Instagram. So thanks so much for watching. Nicolay and Afrosia and May and everyone. Appreciate you guys hanging out. We'll see you soon. Thanks so much for watching.